Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hi dear friends, welcome to this first lecture of Module 9 on Engineering Geological Investigations for Roads and Highway, Bridges and Building Foundation. In previous discussions, we have discussed about effect of faults, fault joints and unconformity on ground control aspects of tunnel. Now in these lectures, we will learn about elementary aspects of roads and highway alignment. In these lectures, we are going to discuss about road and highway, features of road and pavement. Regarding this, we are going to cover about introduction of road and highways, then the definition of road and highways, and general features of road, highway, classification of road, then pavement, and about classification of pavement. Friends, as you know, the road is a linear alignment utilized for movement of peoples, transportation of goods, for animals, and peoples were familiar since very beginning for movement from one point to another point, and every country has a good road network, and the road network is a symbol of prosperity and progress in civilization concerned to any country. In India also we have beautiful network of roads throughout the country. Roads are very important for economical development because it facilitates transportation of goods, materials and others. Road is also important for social and cultural exchange and other activities concerned to human progress and civilization. As far as road is concerned, road is a simple linear open system and a linear improved surface way to facilitate movement of traffic, vehicles, animals, transportation of goods and material, etc. Basically, roads can be categorized in three categories: motored road, non-motor road and pedestrian. Pedestrians are utilized for the movement of peoples in general and for additional support to the original road. You can see the road developed. This is the road alignment, and this pedestrian for movement of people by foot, and then nearby area is of greenery and others to take the environmental concern and others. So basically the roads can be divided as motored road, non-motored road and pedestrian. Further, in view of different purposes and design and specific standards, the roads can be divided as parkways, avenueways, controlled access roads, then highway, in highway freeways and motorways and expressways, then the tollway and interstate roads, paid road, and local road and connecting road, etc. As far as highways concerned, highways is a road connecting major cities, and the National Highway Authority of India is looking after the maintenance, repair, and other aspects of the road, and this PWD, Public Work Department, responsible for construction of such road. However, a type of highways, such advanced highways, is expressway, also called throughway, and parkway or freeway, superhighway or motorway, and major aerial divided highways that features two or more traffic lanes in each direction with opposing traffic separated by median strips, elimination of the grade crossing and control entries and exit, and advanced design with the features of expressway. If we are going to differentiate between the highway and expressway, then we can say that the highway connect major cities, town, etc., and usually have 4 lanes to deliver high speed traffic. But the expressway has little access and comprises various powers like access ramps, lane dividers, etc. You can see a good view of Granton Road connecting a long distance from Calcutta to Peshawar, having many lanes and constructed by bitumens as well as concrete also. If we are going to see about the specific definition of road, may be defined as an alignment used for movement, transportation of materials, movement of vehicles, peoples, animals, and transportation of goods and others. As per the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, this organization has defined a road, a line of communication or traveled way using a stabilized base other than rail or airstrip open to public traffic, particularly for the use of road motor vehicles running on their own wheels, which includes the road present on bridges and present in tunnels or in some underground cuttings, trenches, supporting structures, junctions, crossings and interchanges, and toll road, but not considered as a cycle path. For cycle path we are going to allow pedestrian and other sideways for the movement. If we are going to look into the features of road, then the road can be studied in different parts, as this main road for 2 lanes having expansion of 8 meter supported by shoulders of maximum 3 meter, but the shoulders should not be less than 2.5 meter as per International Road Congress specification. This 8 meter span road supported by 3 meter shoulders is recognized as total road land. This whole land is recognized as total road land, and the area supporting this road, total road land, is a road margin on both sides, left and right side, The end of road margin is marked by some stone with some code recognized as boundary stone, and here nearby the cities area or town area we have two boundary lines. This whole connections setback distance is a boundary control zone. In boundary control zone, this BLD representing this portion, BLD representing the building lane distance, means not allowed to construct any building, and then CLD is a control lane distance. The setback distance is a covering, that is the building lane distance, not allow for any construction in this zone. If we are going to see the road, the 8-meter main road slightly elevated at the center to allow proper draining of rainwater and other flowing water to minimize the deterioration of road. Then this main road of 8 meters supported by 3 meter shoulders for higher stability of road. Then a slope in subgrade of defined slope going to minimize the slope instability problem or slide of the mass and others. Then a break lowest point is recognized as toe, and this toe, this break is also called as berm. Then to drain properly the water available on road as well as filtered water inside this subgrade in ground, this drain is going to dewater or drain the water present inside this subgrade to minimize the deterioration of subgrade, and this subgrade is going to show stable condition when we are going to provide this type of drain. The top portion of the main road is utilized for the movement of traffic, vehicles and others. So this zone is recognized as carriageway. However, the expansion of road including shoulder is recognized as formation width. Then this total road lane is also recognized as right way, and shoulders are going to provide additional support to the main road, and the main road is underlain by some layers for support to minimize the impact on subgrade, because the subgrade is material which are going to bear all the loads coming on a road. As far as definition is concerned, you can see in a very short way, the carriageway is the width of pavement way on which vehicles travel is called as carriageway, that exposed to sky. And the road shoulders are shoulders provided along the road edge to serve as an emergency lane for vehicles as well as to support, to protect the main road as a shoulder like our body. As per International Road Congress, the minimum width of shoulder should be 2.5 meter, not less than 2.5 meter. What is the formation width? Formation width is the top width of the highway embankment on the bottom width of cutting including the side drains and others. The formation width is equal to width of the carriageway for width of the shoulders. However, bottom width is recognized as the expansion of the subgrade up to drain cutting. Right way is the area of land required for the land along its alignment, and it is the distance between the boundary stone of road on either side of the road. However, the side slope is the slope of the earthwork or filling or the rock cuts, and the design of side slope is very important because the design is going to dictate about the stability aspects of slope. If the material starts sliding, then difficult to stabilize road, and there may be lot of fractures, subsidence and others. Then berm is the distance between the road toe and the inner edge of the burrow pit is called as a berm, and it prevents the erosion of embankment soil. The side drain is utilized to drain the rainwater, or drains are provided on either side of road. Sometimes we are utilizing some perforated pipes and others to dewater the main subgrade or materials lying below the building lines distance, the distance from the center line of road on either side within which construction of building is not permitted is called as building line distance. However, burrow pit is the location from where the materials are recovered are instructed for construction of road, and the curve is the boundary between the pavement and shoulders to provide additional support to the main road, and also utilized as footpath. Camber or cross slopes is the slope provided to the road surface in the transverse direction to drain off rainwater from the road surface, as we have already discussed. This is the camber elevated part. The rate of camber is usually designed by the one in N, one vertical and N horizontal to cover. As far as material involved is concerned, we are going to divide road in different category. Although the roads can be divided based on location like plain road and hilly road or icy road, or on the basis of purpose, on the basis of payment level, toll road, without toll road, many classification can be suggested, but the material based classification is important from our point of view to know about different type of roads based on material involved. Based on material involved, the road can be categorized in different categories like earth road. The earth road is made up of soil, compacted soil, and generally the earth load is close to the subgrade, utilized for moderate traffic and connection to the villages and towns in some remote locations. However, another type of road is WBM type of road, and this WBM is the water bound macadam. Macadam is simply crushed stone. So this road is constructed by using water along with some crushed rock with help of some rollers and others to make the road comfortable. Although this type of road is problematic for the movement of traffic and others. Then concrete road is made up of concrete that utilized to connect different villages and towns and some specific locations of area. Then in previous times we have number of morang roads. Morangs are nothing. It is a low grade iron ore, laterite, reddish in color, having some powdery materials and some aggregate that utilized to this type of road today also, in these days also, can be seen in cantonment area and others. And the highways and expressways generally made up of this bitumen and aggregate and recognized as a bitumen road. Beside this, we have some specific road like road developed on ice, and good example we have the road, ice road between the Kulo Shano and Haludulo in the north Ostobothnia in Finland. And beside this we have some rubber road also and some road made up of fly ash. And nowadays we are going to prefer the utilization of fly ash to protect the environment on one side, and on another side provide some additional blend to the cement to minimize the use of cement and reduce the cost of construction. Friends, the surface of roads we are observing always, that is the carriageway, but carriageway located on pavement. Pavement is the main part of road, and pavement is the most important part of highway or road, because this part of road is going to bear the wear and tear effect of traffic are caused by tires of vehicles. Therefore, this pavement should be stable and waterproof surface that can withstand the wear and tear resulting from the impact of wheels of motors or vehicles. It is to be so designed that the dead and live load of automobiles movements are safely distributed to the pavement without exceeding its bearing strength. This indicates pavement is a very important part of road, and in practically this pavement is actually road. The surface part we are going to utilize for the movement and others purposes, but the part lying below the superficial part is recognized as pavement. The pavements are comprises of several layers depending on nature of pavement, and the pavement direct lying on original ground, and the original ground is recognized as subgrades. Ultimately, all the load transferred to the subgrade, therefore selection of subgrade is important. If we are going to categorize pavement, then we can broadly categorize pavement in three categories: rigid pavement, semi-rigid pavement and flexible pavement. Rigid pavement and flexible pavement are based on concept of modulus of rigidity or shear modulus. We have already discussed regarding the concept of rigidity or modulus of rigidity. In view of modulus of rigidity, the pavement can be divided as rigid pavement or flexible pavement or semi-rigid pavement or semi-flexible pavement. The rigid pavement, as the name indicates, it is made up of rigid material, and the rigid material is made up of concrete. Concrete, friends, you know, that is the cement plus aggregate plus water going to make concrete. The Portland cement concrete we are utilizing as surface course, and such pavements are rigid in nature, therefore called as rigid pavement. due to high modulus of elasticity and shear modulus of the concrete material, Portland cement concrete material. These pavements can have reinforced steel and joints, which is generally used to reduce or eliminate joints to minimize the filtration of water inside the pavement. Because of its relative rigidity, the pavement structure distributes load over wide area, only one, and are at most two structural layers. You can view the pavement belonging to rigid pavement is consisting of here this original subgrade and the base course made up of some crushed stone and some crushed material, powdery material, to make the base course of sufficient thickness in range of 50 to 25 centimeter or 20 centimeter, depending on the nature of subgrade and characteristic of subgrade. Then this base course is overlain by concrete slab made up of cement, aggregate and water mixture having thickness 5 to 10 centimeter. This type of pavement having life ranging from 20 to 40 years long life. If we are going to see different layers, although we have discussed, but here for material collections you can understand, it is original ground and act as a base on which base course or concrete slab lies. And base course, it lies over subgrade and it is composed of some material of crushed stone and some sands as fillers. Then concrete slab, that is the surface course, and it is a top layer with thickness of 5 to 15 centimeter made up of concrete. The concrete is made up of Portland cement, aggregate and water, aggregate available nearby but of quality. The life of such pavement, as we have already discussed, 20 to 40 years. So what is the benefit of this pavement? It is simple in design, low in cost, more life as 20 to 40 years, then able to bear heavy traffic load. Therefore, this type of pavement generally provided on highway where traffic load is expected, nearby the toll gate or nearby some parking area and others, and resistance to the waterlogged area. It is resistance to water, therefore this type of pavement generally prefer in waterlogged area. And what is the drawback? It is rough for the movement of vehicles and maybe utilize some more fuels. Semi-rigid pavement, as the name indicates, its modulus of elasticity of material is slightly less in comparison to PCC, and the semi-rigid pavement is an alternative solution to overcome the limitations caused by conventional pavement, that is the flexible and rigid pavement. Rigid pavement not going to provide a smooth surface, however flexible pavement is going to provide a smooth surface but of limited life and deterioration due to waterlogging and others. So this intermediate type of pavement is recognized as semi-rigid pavement. Benefit as observed in case of rigid pavement, it is simple in design but more cost than the rigid pavement, moderate life, able to bear moderate traffic load and resistance to the waterlogged area partially to minimize the deterioration of road. And what is the drawback? It is a partially degradation of material. It shows partial degradation of material, especially water flowing zones of the road, particularly layers made up of bitumens and aggregate. Flexible pavement, as the name indicates, the modulus of elasticity of such pavement is flexible in nature, low, therefore flexible in nature. This type of road is going to adjust with the life and dead load of the vehicles. You can see a view. This is the topmost surface made up of the bituminous material, fine bituminous material, and provide a smooth surface for the movement of traffic and movement of motors and others. This bitumen seal is located on surface course of 15 to 5 to 10 centimeter, made up of mixture of bitumen and aggregate of slightly lower in size. Then the base course, which having thickness 15 to 20 centimeter, is composed of crushed stone along with some sand and others to fill the gap in compacted way. Sometimes this base course is supported by sub-base course. Sub-base course, it is made up of soily material, compacted soily material to provide additional support to the flexible pavement, and this whole layers are lying on the subgrade. This subgrade is original ground. The flexible pavement are those which are surfaced with the bituminous material, asphalt or tar material. The total pavement structures bends or deflect due to traffic load, hence called as flexible pavement. And generally this type of pavement requires some sort of maintenance or rehabilitation every 10 to 15 years. The maximum life 10 to 15 years. And as far as a layer of the flexible pavement is concerned, subgrade, original ground, base course is a mixture of crushed rock and lies directly on the top of the subgrade or on sub-base course. The base layers provide uniform support to the pavement and allow water that penetrate any joints or crack in the pavement to move quickly to the subdrain without saturating and softening the subgrade. To protect the bearing capacity of subgrade, sub-base course, this layer under the base layer, and a proper sub-base consists of various sizes of crust along with the domination of soils. It functions primarily as structural support, but it can also help to minimize the intrusion of fines from the subgrade to the base course and improve drainage, minimize frost action damage, and provide working platform for construction of such pavement. The base course we have already discussed is made up of crushed stone having thickness 15 to 20 centimeter. Surface course, this base course can be divided in as sub-base course made up of soil and some crushed material for additional support. But the surface course is the top layer which comes in contact with the traffic. It prevents the entrance of excessive quantities of surface water into the underlying base and subgrade. It is sometimes divided into two layers as bearing course and the intermediate binder course. The bearing course, as the name indicates, directly in contact with the traffic load to sustain with the wear and tear effect of the tires, and the binder course is the main purpose to distribute load to the base course and others, and it may be composed of one or several HMA sublayers. And what is the HMA? Is a hot mix asphalt and a black stuff used for making pavement, and it is a combination of aggregate and asphalt or bitumen binder mixer together at elevated temperature that forms a hard and strong construction material after placing, and also called as asphalt concrete or asphalt backtops or the bitumen when it is well mixed, and it is laid down on roadway as pavement. So this material is going to show lot of resistance to the wear and tear effect caused by tire. What is the benefit? It is going to provide a smooth surface for movement of vehicles, less consumptions on fuels. But what is the drawback? It is unsuitable for waterlogged area. Water flow is dangerous for such type of road. Therefore, the water zone generally replaced by concrete road in highways and others. This road is unable to bear the high dead load like road part nearby the toll gates and others. Then it has high cost, low life, and the short life of maintenance requires repetitive repair and maintenance. Friends, in this way we are going to discuss about road, pavement, different features, different type of pavement and role of pavement in facilitating the traffic movement. This material I have collected from book Engineering Geology written by Gangopadhyay S, published by Oxford University publication, page 12549, and partial supports from the Engineering Geology book written by Bell FG in 2007, having page 12551. Then partial support from the textbook of Engineering Geology written by Kashabulu, having page 12495, and then some aspect taken from the Engineering Geology Unit 4 written by Siva Bharthamurthy. Then some material from the website for presenting this material at a glance. We have already discussed in detail about road and others. The roads or alignment facilitates the movement of traffic, transportation of goods and animals. The roads can be divided in various categories based on purpose, area, use, material involved, etc. The pavement of road is a very important structure because this structure is going to bear all the loads and use for transferring the stress, and this part is resistance to wear and tear effect of tires of vehicles. The pavements can be divided as rigid pavement, semi-rigid pavement and flexible pavement, and the material utilized for construction of such pavements based on cement, aggregate, water and asphalt, etc. Dear friends, in this class we have elaborated about elementary aspects of road like definition, types of roads or highways, then about pavement, the role of pavement and different features of road, then classification of pavement. Thank you very much for your patience.